So this caught my eye yesterday. We, of course, been covering profiteering and other gross things that have been happening, but this was more of a disgusting display of ostentatiousness. David Geffen, he's a man worth about $9 billion, said he is, quote, isolated in the Grenadines avoiding the virus in an Instagram post of his super yacht, which apparently has a wine cellar and a nice deck and everything. And after he got dragged to all hell for posting the soup. By the way, these pictures were so ridiculous because not only did he take like a photo of him like from the yacht, but he put out one of those drone photos, which means that he like sent a drone to go take pictures of the yacht as it was sailing around wherever he is. I think he's in the Caribbean. And so you locked his Instagram after.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
He did, because he got dragged so hard.
Even the View ladies were going after him. Which
Meghan McCain was just like, this is shame. And it is shameful and grotesque, as people are literally...
It's just, I mean, could you be more tone deaf? Like,
no.
Give me a break. But it also, like, reveals that, look, even in a crisis like this, in a pandemic where a virus is going to, hit the rich, it's going to hit it doesn't know class.
In fact, many of the rich and the elites were the first ones to get it because of all their global travel.
Maybe they're the only ones who could get tests. Right. Could be both. Right. Could be a little bit of both there. But still, we've shown that map of New York City, of the boroughs. You can see that the working class neighborhoods are hardest hit because poverty is intimate. Right? You live in tighter quarters. You're forced to go into the workplace where you're elbow to elbow with your colleagues. For someone like this, they can cosset themselves away and life goes on just fine. They wait it out, no problem.
Helicopter supplies in and all.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. And I'm sure he's, by the way, he's probably still got his help on board. I don't think he's piloting that ship by himself.
And let's contrast that with this. This is Yashar Ali, great journalist. He tweeted out this photo yesterday. That is the line for a food bank in Pennsylvania.
Look
Pittsburgh. At that. A multi-hour line for a food bank in the city of Pittsburgh. That is how many people right now who are struggling to pay for food in this country. And so let's put that up against that super yacht.
Pittsburgh, this is the reality for most people, right? This is what most people are facing through this crisis, is struggling just even at this early stage. I mean, we're just weeks into this thing to be able to have the resources to put food on the table and be able to provide nutritious meals for themselves and their family. That's reality for most people. And by the way, Pittsburgh, it's actually a city, it has fairly high levels of inequality, but it's a city that's held up as, a sort of Rust Belt revival story, doing quite well. Lots of tech companies have set up shop there. So this isn't an impoverished city, although, like I said, inequality is quite great. And so when you see that kind of need where thousands of people will line up in their cars and wait for hours to be able to get a food bank distribution, it tells you how great the need is. And if you look at even, people who are even more vulnerable, this is from Nevada. This caught my eye yesterday. And I want to be clear here. This is a homeless shelter that was closed down because of coronavirus infection that occurred in the shelter. It was shut down. And so the best that they could do, that the city and the state could come up with, is literally marking down lines in a parking lot for homeless people to sleep in. This is, by the way, supposed to be social distancing. Doesn't look like that to me, but that's just the beginning of the concerns. And this isn't, just to be clear, this isn't the fault of the homeless shelter. They're doing the best that they can, right? And providing a safe space for people. But it's unconscionable when you think about the fact that every hotel in Las Vegas, completely empty right now. Empty. Floor after floor after floor of rooms completely abandoned and empty. And look, I know it's not as simple as just saying, just go get in the rooms, guys, get in there. This is complicated. People have needs and require services, and you have to have workers to attend to them. But California's managed to do it. California is right now in many cities housing their homeless populations in empty hotels. So this is not an insane thing to do. It just shows you everything about the way that we treat, these are human beings. These are human beings who are struggling. And the best that we can provide them in this crisis is a parking lot with lines laid down. It's unconscionable.
Yeah, and that's what we lay up against. And like you said, look, we know it's not easy. It's not, it's not just like, open the hotels up, right? And it's all over. But You take that yacht photo and you put it up against the food bank and you put it up against that photo there. And then let's throw in a lot more. I mean, you look at New York City right now, those neighborhoods of all the people who have to still go to work. I read a profile yesterday of all the people who still have to ride the New York City subway. And guess who it is? It's all people who are working class. They still have to go to work.
Of course.
Still have to give people, delivery services, whatever.
And getting no paid sick leave often.
Around my
no hazard pay often.
Yeah, I see the same thing. All these people with Instacart, who I think is doing a walkout today. I mean, all these PMC, upper middle class people are waiting on their Instacart deliveries or waiting on this. Life goes on. You just open an app and somebody is out there. But that person doesn't have equipment. That person might be struggling to pay their bills. I'm making a concerted effort, and I think everybody should, to make sure, let's talk to the people around us. Make sure, because some people are really struggling right now. They can't even pay their bills, wife laid off. I mean, I hear this stuff every single day. I know you do too. And this is on a macro scale.
Right.
And I think that Yashar's tweet there perfectly demonstrates the dire situation that we are in right now for so many people. And again, I care so much about this because we have to preserve American life. But I know all of the bubbling ingredients for a terrible populist uprising is coming. And I say that, I mean, we're populist, but there's a lot of pain whenever it comes to these things.
Yes.
There's a lot of anger. And if you don't channel it the right way, it can go real bad.
Yeah.
And that is what I worry about the most.
And has anyone in this town spoken to one of those families waiting in the car?
No.
For the food bank? They're much more attuned. David Geffen could call them, the billionaire on the yacht. He could give them a call right now from the Caribbean or wherever he is and get, whoever he wants in this town on the phone and offer his dumb ideas for what should be done.
Right.
But those people who are, certainly the homeless people who are sleeping out in that parking lot, and the families who are queued up in that line just waiting for their food distribution, they don't have a representative here. They don't have a lobbyist here who's looking out for their interests.
And I know the Anand Giridharadas critique of philanthropy, which I totally agree with. The whole bill. But look, now is the time to step up. If the government's not going to do anything, now is the time to step up. I even saw Sheldon Adelson bought 2 million masks yesterday and just donated them to first responders, to the United States government, whoever needed. That's the type of thing that we need to start seeing here, which is that, in the city of Las Vegas and all the MGM and Steve Wynn and all these people, it's time to step up.
Many of whom are big political donors, by the way, on both sides of the aisle.
Right.
I mean, this is not a partisan thing. There are a lot of Democratic big donors in Nevada who could put their money where their mouth is.
For these celebrities, it's time to stop doing stupid songs from your basement or whatever. We don't care that you're home. Write a check. Now is the time. All right? So that's my real message.
All right. Tomorrow on Rising, another kind of worker who's going on the front lines in the midst of the pandemic. Farmers. We're going to hear more from journalist Miranda Green.
And Director of Communications for Trump re-election campaign. He shares an update on how the coronavirus has changed the 2020 race. As always, please like, share, and subscribe right there. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Appreciate you all. Be well.